the burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people, all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it.
In recent news, the U.S. has moved its embassy from the Israeli capital of Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. This move has been considered by some to have prophetic significance. The U.S. moving its embassy to Jerusalem was just the first step towards the final days in history. No one has recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel or Judea in over 2,000 years when Rome destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD. So what's next? The UN is set to move to Jerusalem next year. New York City has hosted the headquarters of the UN. The UN headquarters was built September 14, 1948. It was completed October 9, 1942, at the cost of $65 million. The UN pays the city of New York $3.3 billion to operate there. A recent House bill proposed that the United States leaves the UN. Another bill will cut the U.S. funds going to the UN. This will repeal the UN Participation Act of 1945. This act guarantees the leadership position in the United Nations of the United States. Signed in 1940 by President Truman. So within 2 years, the United States can be out of the UN. The supporters of this say that they are tired of paying the UN and not getting a voice in the UN. But the U.S. has a big voice there. And New York City gets the $3.3 billion a year to run the city. Where are they thinking of moving the UN headquarters, if not in New York? The UN Security Council has voted that Israel would be an ideal location for their headquarters. The current administration in Israel pleaded with the U.S. to encourage the UN to move to another country. The U.S. convinced Israel that the move was a good idea. It looks like someone is really trying to make the area more peaceful. Back in 1995, the Oslo II Accords were signed in Egypt. These were agreements between Israel and the PLO. A part of the Oslo Accords that few people don't know is that it internationalized the Israeli Defense Force. This will allow for the IDF to use peacekeeping all around the world. This was way back in 1995. On this year, both the United Nations Relief Force Agency and UNESCO moved their headquarters to the Gaza Strip. In 1962, David Ben Gurion predicted
Continents will become united in a world alliance at whose disposal will be an international police force. All armies will be abolished and there will be no more wars. In Jerusalem, the United Nations will build a shrine of the prophets to serve the federated union of all continents. This will be the seat of the Supreme Court of mankind, to settle all controversies among the federated continents, as prophesied by Isaiah.
Remember what the word says.
Covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Was rebuilt in the city of David. Their man, the person that they had handpicked, was at some point going to walk into the Holy of Holies, take the blade and shed his own blood, and then proclaim himself to be the Messiah.